In Turkey, there's a word Iskan. Buyers of Turkish property know it. It's a technical document for the premises. But it turns out there are different Iskans. They're decorated differently. To avoid confusion in understanding Iskan, watch our video in full. Experienced experts of tolerance, a leading real estate agency with a 20-year history in Turkey, explain all Iskan nuances, required indications, and the consequences of its absence. Subscribe, let's figure it.
Search is a mandatory document for real estate that seller must provide. We all understand why we need a certificate of ownership for the object. In Turkey it is called TAPU, such a beautiful paper. Not everyone understands Iskan, its role and importance. Iskan appearance. Sign on paper with stamp and signature of municipality official. Not heraldic like TAPU's form. But let this simplicity not mislead. God forbid you to buy a ready-made property without Iskan. When making a deal, Iskan must be required just like TAPU and keep it to pass it on to the next owner.
The technical passport confirms that the building has been officially put into operation. It is suitable for living or for another purpose, e.g. commercial. To obtain a scan, the developer or property owner must contact the municipality with the construction passport of the object and also confirm that the house complies with all norms and is built in accordance with the urban planning plan.
It is very important that Iskan is issued only once and does not need to be reissued. You can only get a copy of Iskan if necessary. When purchasing an apartment on the secondary market, the previous owner must transfer the Iskan to you, or you can request it from the municipality at the location of the property. The name of the owner of the object in Iskan is not written, because the task of Iskan is not to indicate the owner, but to confirm that the premises are suitable for living. Iskan is issued by the municipality, while TAPU's ownership certificate is issued by the Cadastre and TAPU Management Authority.
Where will you need Iskan? He must contract with utility firms. Gas, water, electricity often unconnected without this doc. Another Iskan needed to get a mortgage for the property. It'll be a plus when renting out housing. Well, of course, for the resale of your real estate.
Oh, this Iskan in Turkey. With Iskans, technical passports for real estate, people often get confused. And all because of changes in the laws in 2020. Because of them, apartment buyers do not always understand which Iskan they need. Let's figure it out.
If a Turkish house is put into operation before 2020, it must have a general scan. General tech passport for entire building, show the state of the entire complex, etc. With all the apartments, corridors and other premises, the developer is also named in it. Prior to issuing the tech passport, experts checked compliance with construction norms in Kalal. Forced stability, fire safety, readiness of access roads and so on. Experts assessed compliance with the master plan for development. Homes without a Geneli scan are unsuitable for living. Legally, this is a construction project that remains unfinished. And besides Geneli scan, previously FRD scan was issued separately for each flat. Doc could be received by apt owners and payment can be made ranging from 1.5 to 4,000 lira. This is an A4 sheet which is filled on both sides. It includes data on the original owner, developer and supervision details of the document. Institutions, full address, floor, area and other technical parameters of housing. Having FRD and scan was not obligatory. The crucial aspect is to possess general scan at one's residence, but after laws changed in 2020. Owners do not need to receive separate scans anymore. Currently, the general document is issued to the developer upon delivery. The house is in operation.
Yapı kullanma izin belgesi.
This new document specifies the address, number of floors, total area of the building, and separately the area of the apartments.
Changes in laws in 2020 made life easier for apartment buyers, as they no longer need to go to the mayor's office for Iskan and wait for the paperwork for 2 weeks. Truth be told, customers used to pay for personal Iskans themselves, and now some developers divide the cost of the common area among all owners and include it in the cost of housing, or ask for extra payments separately.
Many buy apartments during construction, and here's what's important to consider. Unfinished houses do not have an Iskan yet. It makes sense because the house is not operational. Therefore, when purchasing, you can check another important document, a building permit, Yap Rukhsati. It also includes an address and technical specifications of the property.
Some wonder, can the complex be completed but not receive a scan? It's a small risk, but it's still there. If developer goes bankrupt, fails to complete house, or deviates from approved project, for example. The house's non-operation status should be stated in the purchase and sale agreement. It is important to include the planned completion date, expected scan receipt date, and developer's responsibility for any delays in obtaining the document. Penalty for client or contract termination with refund of money and penalties can result from this.
In general, in a ready-made complex put into operation, the seller must have an Iskan, or the one that is called like this, common for all apartments, or such a separate Iskan for the apartment, if the house was built before 2020. And if the seller does not have an Iskan, he must request a copy of it from the City Hall, because the absence of an Iskan for the housing means the following risks for the buyer.
Maybe the Kinel Iskan wasn't received because the house was built with violations and doesn't comply with construction norms and permits. Technical passport is not issued yet if the developer has debts on taxes and social contributions. Apartment owners will have to pay off these debts themselves in order to receive the claim. Also, in a house without insulation, utility payments are higher. Workers set higher tariffs if they connect utilities at all. If the house still uses electricity from the construction site, the energy company can impose a hefty fine and the apartment owners must pay it. Insufficient power from construction site may cause surges in house, leading to breakdown of appliances due to inadequate supply. And most importantly, after a certain period, a house without a scan is classified as an illegal construction. The municipality may decide to demolish such a building or transfer it to another developer to rectify the violation. In fact, such decisions are rarely made because the authorities in Turkey try to minimize the damage to conscientious property buyers. For example, a few years ago there was a program of amnesty for unauthorized constructions.
So, the result. Iskan is a technical passport with basic info about the real estate object. Until 2020, developers got a general technical passport for the entire building, and apartment buyers had to obtain separate technical passports for their apartments. And after 2020, only developers receive a search. In new houses, there are no separate apartment lawsuits. Experts at Tolerance Homes know a lot more useful information. Behind them is a 20-year experience in the real estate market in Turkey and all related issues, from obtaining citizenship and residence permits to banking and legal operations and assistance in relocation. Tolerance Agency has many objects in Turkish cities. They all have longing. Check the website. If you find it interesting, subscribe, like, and ask for help and advice.